Okay, so let's talk about. Oh, I think it's a season break, so this is gonna give me some time to catch up on some videos. I'm gonna do something about my background. I don't like it. Um, it was supposed to be cute, but it's not cute. And we're talking about it's a season break from Bell Collective. So Letitia and Latrice pick up and talking about how Letitia says that she's scared and she's checking in with her, and Latrice still goes, I'm okay. And I do think that she did need to hear that somebody does care for her. Um, and I've heard some criticisms about how Letitia is not the one to be giving advice because her situation ain't that good. And I can agree to an extent. I think there is a larger question, and I've been critical of the fact that these shows are getting more out of control for a rating. And I'm saying this not even this is not even a love, this is like real talk. This is we are watching a woman with domestic violence, and I reject Carlos King statement on his Reality with the King podcast saying that we're just watching everyday households. I reject that we should believe that this is an everyday household in the and if that is, then this is a problem. Everyday households should not be violent. Now, Letitia's situation of cheating and all the other Bells and all of their household things, absolutely common day occurrences, the bickering, all of that stuff. Every relationship gets into a fight. That stuff I don't have a problem with. I mean, I have problems with, and I get that, but I'm saying that I can tolerate listening to that. It's the showing up with bruises. It is the telling her you are, it's the physical altercations that are taking place on network television that is a problem. I'm gonna pause and say this is I was talking about this same situation with a colleague, and I don't watch Bravo's show Down Under, Below Under, or whatever. And so when it came on my timeline, because it was a trending topic, I was stunned that we were sitting here watching this girl about to get raped. Like production had to step in, which I felt that Carlos King's production should have stepped in when we saw Latrice getting gripped up on the first episode. But first and second episode. Below, down, under, or something like that. And I stand firm on this. Like that, it is unacceptable that we are watching rapes and attempted rapes and domestic violence on shows for ratings. If we're gonna go here, then I'm gonna need you to put a blurb saying this could be a trigger before we watch the show. So anyway, this Latrice talks about how her husband is insecure and that Letitia doesn't need to be worried. Her husband is just controlling. And I appreciate that you're becoming aware of this, but I have every right to be on the concern side because this is not normal behavior, Latrice. It's not. And nobody wants to be going to a hospital or a funeral um, because you refuse to get out. So Latrice is staying with her brother and she's grateful. She does feel like she's grateful for the check-in. And I know that she's defensive, but the issue is that people are now seeing it. So you can't hide it anymore. And that's the kicker. And what bothers me even more so is I know that it's tricky to step into these kind of situations because the woman's not ready to leave. But I also realize that men really do need to check men. And if and and honestly on this show, I think the only one who will check Cliff would be Akeisha's husband. If he sees it, I think that he'd be the only one who would be like, bro, you need to calm down. The other men don't seem to mind Cliff's behavior. And for that, I'm sorry, y'all. I am liking Akeisha more and more because Akeisha doesn't really have the level of ill intent and she's not talking so shady about the other women like, oh, I'll help you, and then in the confessional talking like, my girl is just such and such and such. Like she's not doing that. And for that I appreciate, and she can kind of get to that. Anyway, so Gucci is talking to JJ's daughters. Girl, let me tell you this. Let me get on some Gucci. My mother has a mouth on her. And there are times where I had to stand, as an adult, I had to stand in the middle of my mother and be like, Mom, I appreciate you defending me. There was this one time at church, the lady at church was so upset with my mom about something. And, well, no, she wanted to get on me about either, it was something about Sunday school. I was teaching Sunday school. And my mother jumps in, like, what you're not going to do is you're not going to do that about my, I was like, Mom. And I told her, I was like, Mom, it's not that big of a deal. Chill. Let it go. So she storms off. And I was like, I apologize to my mother. I get what you're saying. I embrace it. I whatever. Like I was not, granted, I didn't agree with her, but I did not care enough to get into an argument. And I know that she cared more about what this issue is, this lady. Because she has a lot less going on in her life, and church was her life. And so I get where she's coming from. I didn't care that much. I don't care enough to get into an argument with her. I will let you be right if it's something that doesn't, it's not attacking my character, it's not attacking something like that. So I'm gonna let you be right. I'm good. Um, so my mother will be yang, 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 yang. And I'm like, Mom, chill. But there are times where, and my husband does that for me, because I'll be like, what you're not gonna do is do that. And my husband will swoop in and be like, chill. Um, so I say that to say, Miss Oguchi, what you're not gonna do is press charges against my mother. First of all, JJ's daughters are better than me because I wouldn't have been there. I would have been saying F you to my father and his wife for doing it, for his wife for doing it, and F you for standing by your wife. There is no understanding. So that's what I would be doing first. And if I did decide to go, which I wouldn't have gone, if she's like, let me pull you to the side because I would like to talk to you. No. And then if I happen to go pull to the side, then I'd be like, let me stop you right there. You were in the wrong. My mother was in the wrong. And you pressing charges makes me forever and ever and ever never gonna say anything to you, with you. There is no coming together. There is no unity. And what's right is right. And what's wrong is wrong. And you up the wrong by pushing charges against my mother. And then I will show you my behind as I walk away. There, so Gucci has a lot of nerve. You know what I'm saying? Like she has a lot of nerve. Yo. And she gets on my nerves consistently. Letitia is on Tamra's show. I still don't get the name. I don't get the reasoning behind this book, how side chicks are winning. So I have no idea what the title is because you're not the side chick in your own marriage, right? Anyway, Latrice has this edge tamer party at her current store. She invites all the girls. I love how her assistant, I think Josh, was like, they don't like you though. Okay, so her it's gonna be in 125 stores. Awesome for her. The other store is progressing slowly. Girl. Anyway, at the party, you had Tamara's coming, Letitia, and then Latrice gives us, and so Gucci. So Latrice gives this whole little thank you for everyone who's here, and this kind of a thing. Your lives are like family. So Gucci, literally in the confessional, is like, I'm only here to keep tabs on what she's doing. I don't like people like this. I really do not like two-faced fake people. I don't like you. I'm going to literally keep that same energy to your face and behind your back. I am one of those who I pride myself on keeping the same energy, and I also pride myself on being yeah, I said it and what? Because people like to throw back in your face what you said as if you are hiding something. I'm not hiding anything. I said it and I'm going to stand 10 toes down. Now, if you have a problem with what I said, then we can talk about it. So I strongly don't like the fact that if I don't like you, I'm not showing up. But if I do show up, I'm going to be as pleasant as possible. But the idea that you're going, first of all, Latrice has not done anything specific. I can get Marie not showing up and having a problem with her. I get that. But Latrice didn't do anything to So Gucci to be on this rah-rah, to be like, I'm only here because I want to see what she's doing and see da. And then for you to be like, well, I'm happy, but I'm not. Girl, you're not happy for her. You don't care about what she's doing is that successful. And it's just a real, you're not a good person, So Gucci. At this point, you're not a good person. So Tamara and Damon are on this date night, and he's building her a place so that she doesn't go to her apartment. That's nice. Akeisha and So Gucci are at the hospital. Akeisha's talking about being nervous and anxious, having anxiety attacks. I've had anxiety attacks. That's not easy to deal with. Letitia's brunch. Okay, let me say something about Letitia's brunch. I hate empowerment brunches. I also do not particularly care for self-help books. I think I have hundreds, maybe I probably do have probably like at least 2,000 books. I can count the number of self-help books I have on one hand. They're just not interesting to me. Now, a how-to book, fine. But a self-help book, no. I get more out of reading a biography than I do from a self-help book. I mean, use kind, use good. Like I don't need that. So this empowerment brunch thing, so I'm just put it out there. If I'm going to do empowerment, I'd rather go to a religious thing. So then I'm getting like some inspiration from the word of God, some music to make me feel good. But to have people talk around and say the same thing I already know, you can do it. And I know I can do it. You know, like I like, and I like to attend and I like to put on myself programs and workshops that other people can get something out of it. So they walk away with a full belly, a bunch of gear that's useful, not just gear that they're going to toss away. And a ton of information that they're able to do today, like today. Otherwise, I cannot. So for me, Letitia, if you're watching this, which he probably won't, would make more sense. First of all, the setup sucked. So the setup sucked. And the reason why I say that is because she's talking about networking. The tables are too close together. So then it's hard to even move in between the tables, especially, I mean, I guess if you're a skinny person, then that's not a problem. But somebody who's not that skinny, then for you to have to shuffle like this to go in between tables is not a good networking tool. So you need space. You need it for not to be oblong, but you need to be space in between. So there's a lot of space to be walking in between stuff. So I thought that the setup sucked. The fact that your dais is not elevated sucked. You needed to be on a platform so that people can actually see you from the back. People don't have to be like, that didn't make sense either. And then the fact that you have a panel in which your panel is kind of talking all over the place and insulting the community. Like, I mean, chicks up here talking about the how poor the neighborhoods are. So now you're looking down on these people's neighborhoods. And then you have Latrice over here. I don't think that it's a bad thing talking about a 9 to 5, but, and this is when I did my workshop, I did my conference and we are talking about, I'm helping people get a job in the community college sector as a college professor. And one of the things I hit on is like flexibility. I personally am not a good person to be a set schedule like a 9 to 5 in an office setting. That's my personality, and that's how I said it. It's working a set 9 to 5 in an office setting is restrictive, whereas my hours are, I work in an office, I can work in different offices, I can work from home, I can be in the classroom, I could do all of these things at different at a schedule that I set. And so it's about flexibility. So then I can do other businesses if I want. I can do all of these other level of flexibility. Like if she phrased it by saying lack of restriction, flexibility, in growth and income potential, the lack of frustration that you feel limited. All of those things are kind of the things that would be more empowering than talking about who the F wants a 9 to 5. It's flippant. And then to go in to talk about you get this degree, you get this degree, you get this degree, and who wants that? That's flippant. And talking about, you're just limited with $100,000. Like, I think that you need to read the room, because the first time you say something that may sound good in your head, but you can read your audience, and your audience was like, the more she talked, the more her audience was getting. And what you want in an audience is that's what you want in the audience. And a few of those speakers, not just Latrice, but a few of those speakers got nothing back in the audience. They looking like. And when Soguchi did go up there and be like, I don't want to, step on your toes or anything, but we have multi-million-dollar houses and you had the room respond in a positive way. So that should let you know. I think Letitia, this brunch needs to shift. And what this brunch needs to do is you need to have ideas. You need to have people sitting high, number one. Number two, you need to have space in the tables. You can't have this restrictive long space. You need to have space in the tables for people to move around. Number three, you need to have exercises, and not me talking at you all day, but you need to have exercises that your speakers are like 10, 15 minutes where they are helping you integrate the crowd with networking activities. So then you're like, everyone, you came here, you need to bring your business card, you need to bring, fill in the blanks of what you need to bring. And if you don't have a business card, well, then you need to have Letitia, you need to make some cards, which I would have done. I would have made some impromptu cards, have them printed with the person's name and telephone number and what you do. And they can fill out the cards, have multiple cards, give everybody like 10, 15, give everybody cards, like 20 cards or something. And then they can come back for more. And have this as a game where they're writing something out, and then have different things, and be like, we have an electrician over here. Okay, girl, stand up, give your spiel. Tell me what you do. Pass out your cards. Anybody interested in it? Let's talk. Let's spend some 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We're going to chat amongst each other. Do we have projects that are coming up? Anybody who has some projects? You want to highlight your projects? People would have walked out of that place like excited. They got a good meal, but they would have walked out of that place like, oh girl, I got 10 cards. I'm going to make some by Monday. I got all these cards. And on Monday, I'm calling these people up. We're going to make some deals. We're going to do some whatever. You have to, if this is a workshop that you want to do, you're going to have to navigate how people network. You can't just tell people I'm sitting next to you, network. That's not how this works. People don't know how to technically network in a good and efficient way. It is how the difference between your brunch and somebody else's brunch is that you want to navigate their networking skills. And for them to meet with different people and you navigate that meeting up of different people so that people can get employed or people can build more deals, more businesses, more, uh, you know, more economic opportunity for whatever they do. That's all I got. Like I said, because I wouldn't pay for it. I'm not paying to just sit there and listen to you talk about you can do it. Bro, I can go buy a poster and put it right here. I can go buy a Jordan or a Nike poster, just do it and put it in front of my thing. If I'm gonna do something like that, I can write it on a, I can write on a whiteboard. Like I mean, I could do it on my mirror. I used to do that for my husband. I used to every day I would put an inspirational quote on the mirror for him to wake up to. And then he would sometimes write a note back to me underneath it. Anyway, I'm done. I know I'm late with Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I'm gonna do those today. And I did watch Love and Marriage DC Detroit, but I didn't write any notes on it. So I'm gonna watch that today. And then I do want to and then I'll come back and do all three. Bye.